Caleb and I, are here to welcome you from Build Up. It's so good to have you all here at the 10th Build Peace Conference. We hope that over the next few days, you'll be able to share with each other your stories of how you arrived here. My personal story was that almost 10 years ago, I did a Google search thinking I would find nothing, looking for poetry, technology, and peace building. And I found the Build Peace Conference in 2015. It was the first one that I went to, and I've been to nearly every one since. We hope that you'll be able to share yours about why peace building, why technology, why arts, why now. So Caleb, why Nairobi and why now?
All right, thank you so much. And first of all, welcome to Kenya, welcome to Nairobi. Nice to see all of you here. So this idea of why Nairobi stems from the tradition of Build Up. So every year when you do a Build Peace Conference, we have a reason behind the venue we choose, right? And as you've seen, that past 10 years, the Build Peace Conference has been moving from one country to the other. Even during pandemic, we still were doing it in South Africa. Yeah. So Kenya, the reason why we're having the conference today in Kenya is two-part. And if you've been following the technology scene in Kenya, you know the word Silicon Savannah. 10 years ago, this word became a buzzword. And everybody was talking about Kenya as the Silicon Savannah, the space where technology was going to save Africa, right? We saw a lot of developments in technology. And some of you actually used some of these technologies in some of the work that you do. For instance, you have Ushahidi, right? Some of you use Ushahidi for conflict mapping, crisis management, peace building, right? Ushahidi developed in Kenya. Umati, if you know about Umati, it became actually the largest database of hate speech for one country, also developed in Kenya around the same period. Sisi Nyamani used SMS to manage conflict in elections and became an example of how you can use SMS technologies to manage, hate speech during elections, mis and disinformation. And then M-Pesa, for Kenyans in the room, this is just like a broken record. Everybody sings about M-Pesa. But M-Pesa has also been used in conflict, doing cash transfers in some of the most remote conflict areas in Kenya and parts of the border regions between Kenya, Ethiopia, and Somalia. So the tech side has seen a lot of developments for peace building in Kenya. But also recently, we've seen the dark side of it. We've seen content moderators take tech companies to court because of the work that they're doing, the deplorable conditions of that type of work. So it's not all rosy, it's not all green. So there's still conflict even in the way we are using tech. Then the other bit is the peace building side. So Kenya has also had its fair share of conflicts. Every election, Kenyans have to think about conflict, whether it's going to make them leave, whether it's going to make the country broken. So it's always a constant reminder that, we are not in a stable peace economy. The peace we have is still fragile. But nonetheless, Kenya is still also seen as a hub with the neighboring countries. We've seen peace agreements being drafted in Kenya from Somalia, from South Sudan, from Sudan. So we have this different balance of tech, peace building happening in Nairobi, in Kenya, in general, in the East African space. So looking back in the last 10 years, we're thinking of how far we've come, how far the development of technology has taken shape, how it has affected the conflict, and also the peace building. And also how traditional forms of peace building have influenced peace in the region or conflict in the region. So looking back for the next 3 days, we'll invite you to reflect in the work that you do, in the regions that you work in the technologies that you use. Some of you have been in this space for more than 10 years. Some of you have worked in Kenya for more than 10 years. But just to reflect on that change before we think about the next couple of years coming and the developments we're seeing and the shifts, the global shifts that are affecting local and other countries. So with that, I welcome you to Kenya, and at least now you know why Kenya. Thank you.